Hi guys, how's it going? This is Amanda from Amanda Around the Globe, and today I'm really excited to talk to you about how to find work in Australia. This is one of my most requested videos of the moment, and today we're covering it, so let's get into it. First of all, let's talk about my experience here. So I've been in Australia for 7 months now. I've gotten quite the variety of jobs. I've done quite a few things. I've made a few videos about what I do, how I make money, the jobs that I've had in Australia. I made one video about when I was in Perth, how I found a job there, but today is going to be a completely comprehensive guide to finding work in Australia on a working holiday visa. Let's talk about this for a second. If you're on a working holiday visa, you have certain restrictions, so you can only work with one employer for up to 6 months at a time. So let's go over how to find an employer. So there are a few different types of work that you can do while in Australia. In my experience, it has not been easy to find full-time work because of the visa restrictions. You can only work for one employer for 6 months at a time, so this basically cuts out any type of career work. For me, I've worked in the wine industry before, and I have had a problem getting a job in the wine industry in Australia because unless I want to pick grapes or get into the actual winemaking process, I can't sign a contract saying that I'll work for an employer for a year because my visa doesn't allow me to do that. So I've gone for mainly part-time casual work. When I first got to Melbourne, what I did was print off some resumes. I knew that I was going to look for a job in hospitality, and I printed off resumes with all of my hospitality experience, printed off like 15 or 20 of those, walked around the areas that I wanted to work in, and just handed out my resume everywhere. I was super friendly. I was really talkative. I didn't just walk in and say, here's my resume. Are you guys hiring? No, no, no. I walked in and I said, hi, I'm Amanda. I'm looking for a job. Are you guys hiring? And I was like really enthusiastic. Okay, maybe not that enthusiastic, but I was very friendly, very enthusiastic. I told them I have a lot of hospitality experience. I got my RSA, which is the certificate that you need to serve alcohol. I got that immediately when I got to Australia, so I was able to do any kind of hospitality work, and I actually got a job the first day that I did this. Sometimes it will take you a couple days, but if you just print out your resume, walk around, and you're really, really friendly, really talkative, you basically like really have to sell yourself, and you tell them all of your hospitality experience, like make them know that you can do this job, and make sure that they remember you. And then if someone says they are hiring, follow up with them later. If they don't give you an interview date right then or a trial shift, then ask them if you can come back and speak to a manager at a later time and get a trial shift. You should ask them if you can come back, speak to a manager, or when the manager is going to be in. You know, you really have to, you can't expect them to try to help you out. Like, the competition is fierce. I'm not joking. Like, it's intense. And a lot of places won't hire foreigners because they want people to work there for longer than 6 months. So when you do find a place that will hire foreigners, you have to go for it. Okay, that kind of covers my hospitality experience. Basically, if you want to work in hospitality, just go to places, hand in your resume, sell yourself, and beg. Like, really sell yourself. I'm not joking. It's a tough world out there. It's a tough country. Another option, I got my first job just by handing out resumes. I got my second job, which was the coffee shop in Perth, because a friend of mine knew a manager there. So my second option is if you've been in Australia for a while, still looking for a job, but you've already made some connections in Australia, ask the people that you know, like make a lot of contacts. Like, obviously if you're going to be living in Australia, you're gonna make friends. Ask your friends if their jobs are hiring or if they know anyone that's hiring. Go onto Facebook groups. There are so many Facebook groups for hospitality in Melbourne. I'm not sure about the other cities because I've been doing hospitality in Melbourne, but you can go onto Facebook groups. There's like bartender, hospitality, all these kinds of groups where people will post ads for jobs. You can go look in hostels where people will post ads for jobs. There are so many ways to find jobs. I think personally, if you can find a job vacancy, go in person. You can apply on Gumtree, and sometimes that might work out for you, but to be honest, the best way to get a job is to go there, sell yourself, and convince them that you can do that job and that you can do it well and that they need you there. Okay, that was a long section number 1, so we're gonna move on to section 2. Section 2 is if you really want to do full-time work, there are options for you. You just should know before coming to Australia that you're probably not gonna get like a really great job when you're working here. You're gonna have to probably do something that you wouldn't do in your home country, but you're living in a foreign country and you need to make money, so you're gonna have to do what you have to do. So that brings me to full-time work. If you really want full-time work and you want to work Monday through Friday 8 to 5 or 9 to 6 or 9 to 5 or some kind of variation of those hours, you can do that and you can get into fundraising. You can go look for fundraising websites online, apply online, they will call you, they'll bring you in for an interview. Every place that you apply to will pretty much call you and give you an interview, and in the interview just be really talkative, be really friendly, be really outgoing, and you'll probably get the job. And once you get the job, they will either give you a base rate plus commission or commission only. If you're gonna do fundraising, definitely go for the one with the base rate and then commission on top of it, because otherwise your life could be very difficult. Fundraising is something that really requires a certain personality. I did an interview for fundraising, I got the job, and then I realized that there is no possible way that I can exert this much energy on a daily basis and ask people for their credit card details. That's not something that I want to do. It's not something that I'm really into, but if you have a background in sales or if you are comfortable doing that, then fundraising could be a really good option for you, because they actually pay really well, usually between 23 to 25 an hour plus commission on top of that, and you're working a lot of hours so you can make bank. Yeah, but it definitely takes a certain kind of person. It's also really common to do that for only a month or 2 months or a couple months and just make some money and then move on. So if you really need money, I would suggest trying that out. Let's move on. Number 3 is going outside of the city. So if you're okay with not living in a major city, you can look online for backpacker jobs in Australia. There's a Facebook group called Backpacker Jobs in Australia, or different variations of these groups. I think some of them are bigger than others. Try to look in the bigger ones, and there's always advertisements for farm work. So you can go and work in the outback, and usually people will pay for your food and accommodation, and you just make a ton of money. You can't really spend it because you're not really around anything. Like, it's difficult to spend money when you don't have any way of getting into the city, but this is a really good way to save a lot of money really quickly and be in a different kind of environment if you're into that. Some people need to do farm work for their second-year visa anyways, so if you need to do that, you can always look online, or I think that hostels might even have farm work information too. Number 4. Number 4 is kind of a different type of job. You can become an au pair. Au pair? I don't know how you say it, but I actually am going to be an au pair in Sydney. So I just found this job on Facebook. There's a lot of Facebook groups for au pairs, and people post ads saying that they need an au pair, and you can connect with them and you FaceTime them, you guys meet each other, find out it's legit. They usually give you free room and board plus a pocket money, so they don't usually give you a ton of money, somewhere between like $200 to $300, maybe $400 if you're really lucky, dollars per week. And so it's actually a pretty sweet deal if you're just coming to Australia, or if you want a job right when you get into Australia, because you have your work and your housing set up all in one. You get free food, so that's pretty good. So your money that you're making can go right into your savings account or go toward whatever. I mean, this video isn't about what to spend your money on, it's about how to make money. Okay, moving on. That was number 3? Number 4? That was number 4. So number 5 is another fun one. So if you want to do some kind of really casual freelance type of work, I suggest the website StarNow. I will link it down below. I've talked about it in another video. I've gotten some kind of like promotional work from that. And by promotional work, I mean like I've handed out newspapers in Federation Square, which is the main Plaza in Melbourne. I have handed out flyers at a car expo. I've done lead generation. I have been a photographer's assistant because I have a strong background in photography. There's all kinds of jobs on there. There's a lot of jobs, like if you're a model or if you are an actress, that's a really good opportunity for you because there's a lot of that kind of stuff on there. I'm not either one of those things, but there's a lot of like time for portfolio stuff. So for me, because I want to learn more about photography, I do offer to be a model for people so that I can learn more about photography, if that makes sense. Those are all my tips for making money in Australia. There's quite a few options for things to do in Australia. That's all the things that I have experience with. So I hope this video was helpful, and I hope that you guys find the job of your dreams in Australia. So let me know in the comments below if you've worked in Australia, if you have anything that you would add to this video, if you've done any of these jobs, anything like that. Tell me, I want to know. I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope that you love this video. No, I'm kidding. I hope that you guys did like this video though, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching, subscribe, and goodbye. Work, 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 work. Okay, that's enough of